Whoa! From the heart of Lovecraft Country and the birthplace of American religious liberty, my name is Jonathan Jetty. You're watching Jonathan Jetty Art, and I almost didn't beat the buzzer in terms of when the show was starting. So I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, which is nothing new. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday, and looking forward to hopefully a long weekend with Memorial Day. Wishing you all a happy Memorial Day as well. Welcome to Comics and Curios inside the studio. We have things to do. We have stuff to look at. Hopefully some inspiration. I'll tell you about a fabulous experience I had with Trial and Error. And, oh my lord, was that nuts. And hopefully you'll get a kick out of it. And I hope you guys are well. Let's see what we've got in the chat. Let's see who's here. Let's see. We've got Mikey's Madness is here. Great to see you, Mikey's Madness. We have got Art Haida. Hail, chat. Hope your Sunday goes well, Shant. I'm currently reading... Ooh, this... Oh, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for the first time, and very much enjoying it. Oh my gosh. I was just talking to somebody about the importance of literature, the importance of, and not literature in the sense of for literature's sake, but great stories, and how it just, that book sucks you in. And when I think about the fact that Robert Louis Stevenson wrote that and Treasure Island, my brain breaks. I mean, what an amazing artist. What an amazing writer and creative, artist. And you can get these really nice faux leather editions of the books at Barnes & Noble, which is where I get a lot of mine, and they're so nice to have in your house. Infamous Mr. Cursed is here. Thank you so much for being a channel member. I know you were first in the chat. Cursed Art Creations, and I have one of those fine creations right back there. It's great to have you with us this morning. I hope you are doing well. Let's see who else we've got here. Where are we? We've got Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. It's great to see you. And, all right, good. Making sure I'm caught up with the chat there. So, we're going to take a look at some cool stuff today. I'm going to tell you an exciting story of woe and ridiculousness, which is the act of creating work. And maybe I'll start with that because I think it is, it's a funny story worth telling. So... see if I can adjust this here. So I have been hard at work on a pickguard design. Let me see if I can get the angle right on this. There we go. On a pickguard design that some of you guys may have seen me working on the other night. And I wanted to show you where that is as it stands. So I've been working on this pickguard and trying to figure out how to approach it. I had a metal base at first, didn't like how that was going, and so I found this, that there were these really nice plastic bases that fit the 1960 Telecaster that I'm doing the pickguard for, and I have lots of photos of that I can look at, so I'm kind of planning everything out, and so I look at the thing, I'm reading about how to paint on this surface. This is a painful story, and good to see you, Corey Landis. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday, my friend. And so this is this is what happens. So I get the thing in the mail. I peel the plastic protective layer over the top, off the top of this thing, and I start painting away. And I go, wait, I gotta probably sand this a little bit first. So I take some light sandpaper, sand it down, and and see if the paint can take better. And it takes a little better, but it's not doing really well. And there's something odd about it. So I get as far as I got on the painting the last time you guys saw me working on this, which was, I think, over on Shane's stream, if I'm not mistaken. And it's coming together, and I'm figuring out how the figures are going to go. And I'm like, but why is this surface giving me so much trouble? It doesn't seem like it should. So I go to where I ordered it from and read probably some of the most terrifying words I've ever read. Not the most terrifying, actually, but probably some of the worst words you could read when you're an artist. And it said, to make sure that your product arrives safely, we have applied 2 protective layers to the pick guard. And I look down at my painting and my pick guard, and I look back at those words, 2 protective layers, and I go, I only peeled off 1 protective layer of this pick guard. And I start looking at the edges of the pick guard, and I can see that there are little areas of thin plastic that it looks like I could possibly pull up. And I'm looking at the painting, and I'm looking at the pick guard, and I'm looking at the plastic, and I go, what to do? So I take my fingernail and I start scratching right here, and sure enough, a very thin, clear bit of plastic comes up, and I go, no. And then I take it and I peel that plastic back, and the entire painting, I don't know if you guys ever had shrinky dinks when you were kids, but the entire painting, as it comes off, just shrinks up, disappears, dust in the wind. And that was the story of getting to this point on the pick guard. So that happened this morning, probably around, I want to say, probably was maybe last night around 11:45. So what I had to do was I basically just said, okay, we're doing some trial and error here, which is why the post is called Trial and Error. And we're going to just have to start from the beginning again on this thing. And so I mixed up some paint, started working on this, and I'm going to do some more work here on it with you guys on this fine Sunday. So that was pretty much what was going on last night. And so I've got a bunch of cool stuff for us to look at today. I found one of the books that I wanted to talk to you guys about, found another book. And the thing that's been really fun about doing this stuff and talking with you guys about, the kind of work that I'm doing is that this stuff is all this trial and error. If there's something you want to try doing, if there's something you want to look into, find the way to figure out how you can learn it and just get after it. It is worth every penny. It's worth all the time you put into it. So this is trial and error number 1, okay? This pick guard. And what's funny is when I started working on it, or when I started to rip it off, and I had that moment of pause where I was like, do I rip this thing off? And before I take a phone photo of it, I said, if I take a phone photo of it, I'm going to be chasing what that thing was. And if I don't take a phone photo of it, it's going to be the new painting, what the new painting could be. I already know the gist of it. It's not my first rodeo, that kind of thing. And so I pulled the thing off and I let it go, and I went, that's it. Like, we learned what we learned doing that. It's going to be better the next time around. And all of that work just disappeared instantly. And it was a lot. It was tough. But the other aspect of trial and error is this guy right here, which is underway. So for those of you guys who haven't seen this yet and haven't seen where I am on it yet, this should be fairly new because some of this I've done this week since the last stream. It's nowhere near finished in terms of painting. But this is the maquette for Nosfero that I'm going to be using going forward. And this is crazy to me that this thing has come together. It may even affect the design of the character going forward. And that's something that I couldn't be more surprised with how it turned out. And so I wanted to give a quick shout out to somebody who'll probably never see this. Yes, the 100 Cursed Art Creations, you know what I'm talking about. Yep, the universe had other plans. That's all it was. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. That's how I start looking at all of this kind of stuff. I mean, I've had so many instances of that this week that it's been crazy. Hang on a second. Try to reach my lens cleaner here. Woo. So I started working on this, and there was a guy. What is up, Woden Sean? Good morning to you, or good afternoon to you, and happy Sunday. I hope you're having a good one. I don't know what neck of the woods you're in, but I know you're in the woods in a tree, so sit back, put your talons up, and enjoy the show, is what I like to say. So there's this guy that I was watching online on YouTube, and I think I've got his name right. If I'm wrong, I apologize to him. I don't think he'll ever see this, but maybe he will. His name is Stephen Human. I don't know if it's spelled human, H-U-M-A-N. I think it might be H-E-U-M-A-N. I'm not sure. But Stephen Human, and he loves to customize his action figures, his superhero action figures. And he is learning how to do it. He does not know how to do this stuff. Like, he's just like, at first, I don't know where he is now. And so he'll just go in there and he'll do things that would make someone who's an experienced customizer probably go nuts. But he also asks for advice on how to do things, and just a real genuine guy. He works all day, comes home, this is his hobby, and he shares it on YouTube. And the funny thing is, and I've been subscribed to him now for ever since I found his site, and found his channel, I should say. And here's what I love about this guy. This is what makes this guy great. He's not the best customizer. He's not trying to be the greatest customizer. He's just trying to have a good time. And he's like, this is what I like doing. This is my hobby. This is what I want to do. And when I came time to do this and I was nervous about it, I go, have courage, man. Have courage to try this. Have courage to try to customize this action figure. What's the worst thing could happen? And I thought about Stephen Human and his site and the stuff that he does and on his YouTube channel. And I thought, this guy is awesome. What is up? And happy Sunday, Mark's Music Obsession, brother. It's great to see you. And it was so, those are the people that inspire me sometimes. The people who are just all courage and goes, I want to do this. What's stopping me? It's not like trying this out and doing this for fun is going to hurt anybody. I'm just going to try to figure out how to paint these action figures. And yeah, Hugh Man is a great name for an artsy guy. I agree, actually. He should probably have changed it to that. But I think his YouTube channel is Superhuman something. I don't know what it is, but I follow him. I wish I knew more about his site because I hadn't really planned on that. But I saw it talking about it. But I saw his stuff, and I wanted to send out into the cosmos, into the ether, a thank you to him, because his positivity, his enthusiasm about what he does raised the bar for me. What's up, Michelle Bowers? Happy Sunday. And I just thought, man, this guy, he just goes for it. He's not afraid to try things. He's not afraid if it goes wrong. He's just determined that the experience he has of doing this is a good experience. And once you do, you put yourself in that mindset, when something goes wrong, whether it's with this pick guard I'm painting or whether it's with this figure that I'm using as a base for the Nosfero maquette, I've done things that I've learned by not being worried about how it's going to go and worrying about, like, how am I going to put this thing together. I don't know I've never made clothes for an action figure. I've never tried to actually use 2-part epoxy sculpt to make something of mine and have it come together. It was nuts. It was nuts. Yeah, amen, Woden Shot. Yeah, so I just loved that about this guy. So I wanted to show you some stuff that I've talked to you about before on stream, and hopefully get you guys excited about trying stuff in your own work and in your own free time, for lack of a better way of putting it. So, which I'm sure we all have copious amounts of. So this right here is a book I have mentioned before. This book, which my mother-in-law, God bless her, who I'm going to be seeing soon, I think she's going to be coming up to visit me. My mother-in-law bought me this book. She gives the most incredible presents in the world. She's just one of those people. Oh, well, hold on a second. We've got Mark's Music Obsession with a celebration here. Mark's Music Obsession celebrates 32 months of membership. Happy Sunday, everyone. Awesome figure model, brother. Dibs on the prototype. Dibs are granted. Yes, if I ever lose this figure, if I'm ever going to get rid of this figure, I promise you I will give you that call first. And let's celebrate. Let's get some cheerleaders going. We haven't done that in a while. Let's get them going. Here you go. And thank you, Mark's Music Obsession, for 32 months. My God, has it been that long? Incredible.
Charge! Charge!
Yes, indeed, guys. Thank you so much, Mark's Music Obsession. So, my mother-in-law got me this book. She's gotten me some incredible presents before. Bless her. She's very creative. She's actually, speaking of, my mother-in-law has recently started. I'm so proud of her. In the last year or so, recently did a move to Arkansas, and she started taking painting lessons. She's wanted to paint her entire life, and she finally said, now's the time. I'm going to take some classes. I'm nervous. We had all the conversations of, is it too late to start? Which I'm like, are you breathing? Then it's not too late to start. And she started taking painting classes, and I'm so excited for her. So she got me this book. If you are interested in learning about how to do hand lettering and engrossing, this is the book. You can find it as a PDF online. This is the book you are looking for. So for everyone who's been wondered and wanted to try to do this kind of thing, look at this stuff. This is the book you're looking for. And so I wanted to highlight 2 books today, before I get down to brass tacks and get down to painting, that I think that anybody who is curious, again, you can find a PDF of this online if you want to learn how to do this stuff. I just happen to have this copy, which helped me to understand that it existed. This is the book. So this book was probably, it says this was the 1958 edition of it, but I'm sure, let's take a look and see when it first came out. So many great books like this were out there. 1948 is when this book was first published. Take a look at this. Do you guys see what I mean? All of the stuff you could want to know about curvature, about angle, about everything you could want to know about lettering. Now, I was somebody, you know what's so funny? I'm not sure what part of Arkansas, Mark, because it's a bit out of the way. So I would have to get back to you on that. But the thing for me about this is that this book was, created in 1948, and it really breaks down all of the things. Now, I had terrible penmanship and terrible handwriting and hand control. People always are shocked to learn that, but I got kept in from recess to work on my letters when I was a kid because my hand control was so terrible. My letters did not look like letters. They didn't look like I was speaking the same language other people were. And I got so anxious. I never wrote in script. I wrote in block print, like comic book lettering, which is the first time I ever learned to write something legible, was learning comic book lettering-ish by hand. What's up, Glass Machine? Happy Sunday, man. I hope you're doing well, man. And so I was so nervous about writing in script, I never did it. I was thrilled when everything became typed and email and all of that stuff on the computer. That was great. Because I hated my handwriting. So I decided, I guess it was maybe 7 or 8 years ago. It might be, I think it's about 7 or 8 years ago. I decided I was going to teach myself script without memories of an elementary school teacher hovering over me, of my insecurity about my penmanship. And I taught myself script, and I started studying beautiful lettering. And now I'm not a calligrapher by any stretch, but now I am so much more confident when I write things. Like, I used to write birthday cards to people and try to make it look nice and not look like block print like a kid. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you what, that doesn't shock me at all. That doesn't shock me at all. I saw a really great video of, I think it was a Gen Zer, or could have been a millennial or a Gen Zer, I'm not sure. And she was from somewhere in the South because she dropped an utterly perfect y'all, like a non-pretentious y'all. And she looked into the camera and she goes, y'all. She's like, y'all. I cannot spell. I cannot spell anything. I'm in a situation where I'm in meetings and I'm having to take notes in this job I'm in by hand. And I've realized that with spell check my entire life, I can't spell anything. I do not know how to spell at all. Exactly. Sorry, Art of Roy. I have to give you love for that. That's beautiful, man. That picture always puts a smile on my face. How giant is the wee baby in that picture now? I bet I can't even imagine. Oh my gosh. So she's like, I can't spell y'all. And she's like, y'all, I can't spell. But here's what I liked about her, and here's what I liked about what she said. She goes, so I'm online right now watching YouTube videos and practicing how to spell and trying to get better at spelling. I'm like spending every night when I get off of work, I'm spending trying to learn how to spell better. Guys, that's what it comes down to. That's what it's all about. And I was so blown away. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, in addition to that, think of all the things. I always say that a bad introduction to something or a bad experience with something in your youth is often worse than having no experience with it in your adulthood. Because you just get so nervous about it. Now, it doesn't mean I don't think people should be exposed to all this stuff when they're young. Quite the contrary. But when you get to a certain age and you don't care anymore, try to do something you love doing. That's it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be for money. It doesn't have to be to sell it. It doesn't have to have all that pressure on it that all of us who make comic books and create illustration work and do commissions like this pickguard have to worry about. It can just be for you. It can just be something you enjoy. And so this is the thing for me, that I saw this book and I thought, this is all the stuff, all the things you ever wanted to ask but were afraid, all the things you wanted to know but were afraid to ask. Things like the angle of the pen, how you position your hand, all of that stuff is in this book. And so I want to do a quick flip through of this. And again, if you're just joining us, this is the Zenarian Guide to Hand Lettering, Alphabets, and Engrossing. It is a great book. So here's the engrossing text. And as time goes on this, look at all the stuff it's showing you. How great is this stuff? It's so cool. Especially with our 250th anniversary coming up right soon, which is pretty amazing. As a bicentennial baby, I'm blown away. Look at this. How cool is this? Does this not make you think of comic book lettering and stuff like that? It is. Oh, bless you, Woden shot. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That's the 1924 edition. Excellent, but that is great. Well done, Woden shot. That's awesome. Guys, check it out. You will love it. You will absolutely love it. So yeah, look at all of this stuff here. Isn't this just incredible? And so these things, you were never meant to have to invent these things. You were meant to be able to learn these things. It's a trade. It's a craft. It's something you learn from copying, practice, repetition, and study. It's not something that's about, creating it. Once you get to a certain level, if you feel like that's something you're capable of, then go for it. But look at how they're teaching basic value structures for painting in this book. This is what manuals used to look like. Woden shot is such a helpful mod when he's not being absolutely awful. I would agree with that. I only see the helpful side of Woden shot. That's how I choose. That's my truth. But look at this stuff. How beautiful is this? It's incredible for me to think about this work that was done for this book, the how-to, the step-by-step. Check that out. But not only that, but that it was then scanned, or photographed, I should say, not scanned. It was photographed and then put together in this book. And you can see how all of this stuff could work and how you could use it. So when I'm lettering comics and I'm doing the kind of more sound effect stuff I do with Springball, which the link is in the description if you've not backed Springball yet. But this is the stuff I look at and go, oh my gosh, this is possible. This is possible. This is the one that really got me, and I don't know where it was, if it was published around here or not. But somewhere in here there's, and then here are these various templates that you would be expected to study. I mean, look at that. Here's a nice little template view. Incredible. Just incredible. But there was something in here where there was a Woonsocket, Rhode Island, the little portrait, and this. How cool would it be to get things to... I was thinking about this before. I was always disappointed when I was working in art schools and teaching at art schools how absolutely boring diplomas were. And I just thought diplomas at art schools should be works of art and beautiful hand lettering. It's even easier these days with digital, but you have to pay attention to font selection. You're 100% right. Simply Green, a man after my own heart, clearly. Bringing font to the stream. I like hearing it. Look at this stuff, though. How cool is this? I love illuminated manuscript like the Book of Kells and things like that, which I had a copy of that somewhere. I have no idea where it is. And I'm sure it's in here somewhere. But look at all of this work that goes into it. Just incredible. John Fitzpatrick. Man, this one's nuts. Look at that, guys. I don't know if there's an... you know what's funny is, this is something I could see Ethan doing on a panel border. Actually, I could see Ethan doing this kind of work back in the day. He would be incredibly good at some of that stuff because his line work is nuts. But look at that. Ah, so good. This stuff to me is just incredible. Of course, we spoke about this previously when Tiny Effort was talking about his work that he does as a wood carver. I brought up the incredible, oh my gosh, Jake Weidman, who is a hand letterer and engrosser, and he just does incredible stuff. But yeah, he's right now, he just did a C.S. Lewis and Tolkien piece that he's a dual portrait of both of those men, and it is incredible. The art of engrossing, look at that type work. Isn't that cool? Just incredible. Just incredible. And guys, make sure you hit the like if you haven't yet. Hello to everybody on X, everybody on YouTube. It's good to see you guys. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at how beautiful that is. Wow. I haven't looked at this in a while. Look at that. Wow, look at the artistry in that, man. That's what I want to see. You know who would like this? I bet John Malin would like this book. He loves lettering. He loves type. I bet he would love this stuff. Oh my gosh. So anyway, these are the things, and I love this. It's just so great. All of the cool little examples and templates they give you. So if you're looking for a way to just study something and you're like, I want to study something, I want to improve my penmanship, I always tell people, if there's something that you feel insecure about and you're an adult and you get up every day and you work your tail off and you have a job, when you're done, watch stuff that inspires you. Watch stuff, enjoy your time off, but also feel free to explore things without worrying about someone looking over your shoulder and telling you whether you're allowed and how great you're doing at it. You do your bit for king and country. In your free time, just learn for the love of learning. It'll make you so much happier. Hey, Grey Wolf, great to see you, my friend. Christopher, Sheriff, it's good to see you, my friend. Hail, Brother Shanth. Oh, shoot, hang on, let me click on that. Hail, Brother Shanth, and the rest of the realm. One of the greatest things about life is no matter how old we get, it's never too late for personal exploration. 100%. And it's never too late. How do I put it? It's never too late to try something, and I think the older that you get and the more experience you get, the less frightened you get of failure. Failure doesn't bother you as much anymore. There are bigger things to be concerned with. Let's see here. I can't read a comic without scrutinizing balloons and lettering, thanks to John Malin. I know that, by the way, is an incredible service, because I think that lettering is one of the most incredible art forms. I was thinking about title design and how important logo design is in comic books. And I was thinking about, many of you guys may know, Kevin Nolan's work. How many of you guys know Kevin Nolan's work, out of curiosity? I think I've shown his stuff to you guys before. I was just wondering if I had it here on the off chance I could grab it, but I don't think I did. But Kevin Nolan designed the characters for Batman, the animated series. He designed... Oh, this is going to drive me crazy. Hang on a second, guys. I'm going to give you a view of the studio for a sec, and you guys can watch me fumble about. I got to check something out. I got to see if I can find this. Be patient with me. I know I'm nuts. It's not there. Okay. It's not there. Shoot. Where did I put that? Okay, is it here? No. 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 It's not there. Probably going to be somewhere where I can't reach it. Oh, no. Oh, so close, but not the right book. No. I think it would be here. looking for? Dang. Where could it be? So, I could have sworn I showed it to you guys. Nope. Oh well. Alright, I gave it the good old college try. So I couldn't find it, but the guy who created Kevin Nolan, if you don't know his work, is a comic book illustrator par excellence. He's an inker. Hey, what's up, Sir Listros Meg? How are you doing, my friend? It's great to see you, brother. And so what he did was, for those of you guys who don't know, he inked The Sword of Azrael, drawn by Joe Quesada, that famous, limited series that was the introduction of Azrael. So he drew that, and it's breathtaking. I think I have like 2 copies of his inks on that. And he has this style of comic book lettering when he letters his own stuff. That's his own font. It's incredible. And so he has that. And then on top of that, he's created logos for The Punisher. It's the one where it's in perspective and there's the skull in the center of it. He created the Doctor Strange logo, I think. And on top of that, he was hanging out with Mike Mignola when Mike Mignola was coming up with Hellboy. And he took a napkin, or a little scrap piece of paper they had when they were out eating, I think it was the story. And he designed the Hellboy logo. And this guy is an incredible letterer. If you ever get a chance to see his stuff, check it out. It's beautiful. But yeah, he does just incredible lettering work. So he's one of my favorite letterers, inkers, illustrators. Just a terrific, terrific guy. So, next, but also important. For those of you guys who've been asking about it, I tracked it down. This right here is the copy of Drawing Lessons by Willie Pogany. So this is the anatomy book that I love. It's my favorite introduction to anatomy book. It's very much of its time, but it's incredibly useful in terms of the information. Things like composition and where you place things inside of a frame, perspective, and really understanding. Let me see if I can get that a little bit more centered here. Oh, I could just change the camera a little bit. There we go. Things like perspective that you're seeing here, broken down simply. And again, a lot of this you can find in How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, which is, I can't recommend that book enough. But check this stuff out. Really useful, really great stuff. Breaks down values, perspectives, the figure laying down, arms in perspective, hands in perspective. How great. Sorry, I can just move it closer. How great is that hand coming straight at you right there? Isn't that great? How he breaks that down. I love that. That's the kind of stuff that you always want to have someone explain how to do. Highlights and shadows. Drawing the human head. Very important stuff. Let me move this back over. There we go. Drawing the human head. And then we get into the figure. This book is not expensive. You can find this book on Amazon. Willie Pogany's Drawing Lessons. And really goes over a lot of stuff. And it has a fun style for comic book artists as well. But he really does break things down. This book preceded Andrew Loomis. And in a lot of ways, it's a little bit more accessible. Really good stuff. Isn't that a great... That is a really outstanding glass machine. Oh, I just got that. Oh, my Lord. But it is it's a great drawing of an arm, too. And even though I know you're trying to crack me up, which you succeeded. But look at the beauty of these figures. Aren't these great? Just fantastic stuff. And incredible dynamics, incredible anatomy. Just really terrific stuff. So yes, if you're looking for a book that is a great buy, it's $14. I think it's probably cheaper on Amazon. It's probably $5 on Amazon. That is the other book I would suggest. So we're going to start doing... because it's about that time, we're going to start doing some paintings. We're going to start working. and I'm going to break down all the different ways in which I approach these things and show you a little bit of the stuff that I've learned while working on this. So I've got a reference folder of all of the images and all the things I'm using for this, and then some of it I'm doing out of my head, which is, I gotta fix this arm here. Not my arm, thank God, but this book holder, so I can get it out of the way of my paint, which I just got myself some fresh water here. So let's get to work on this, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit about what I do. So for this job, for this commission, the musician who reached out to me, he plays music in his spare time. He loves playing the guitar. He records his own music. He does all kinds of exciting stuff. And he reached out to me because he had just gotten himself a 1960 Telecaster. And he was very excited to add it to his collection. And he wanted to do something with it to bring it that was sort of special. And that was the thing that was really exciting to me when he came to me with this job thing. And also, I like the guy a lot. So, and yeah, here's Nosfero. Here's the Nosfero maquette I'm putting together for Nosfero Death Will Die. God, so many things are going on. Nosfero, I just heard from the printer. I think I mentioned this on a couple of streams, but I don't know if I've mentioned it here yet. Nosfero, they say, is scheduled to ship to me on June... I can't even believe that's right around the corner. June 5th or 6th. So in about a week or so, they're going to be reaching out to me about shipping the books to me. Beyond excited. The proofs are right here. If you guys haven't seen the proofs, they are beautiful. I'm loving what they did with the proofs. And I can't tell you how excited I am to print Springball with them because they really are getting the colors down very well. So here we go. So this is what we're dealing with here. So I'm going to be using Liquitex heavy body acrylics for this. I'm going to be using white synthetic brushes. And like with all of the processes I do when I'm working, a lot of it has to do with just finding things through the figure and finding things through the subject matter. So I'm going to open up some reference. And that is, you guys aren't going to see the reference, but you'll get the idea. I do use reference even though I go off in my own direction with the kind of cartooning aspect of it. But when I have a chance to use reference, I do, especially on a job like this, because, and particularly because I have reference of figure models here. I can't exactly share that with you guys, but the reference I'm calling up right now are the reference photos of wolves. And I don't want to, it's not going to be, because it's going to be a little bit more Art Nouveau, a little bit more surreal. I'm not trying to make an anatomically perfect wolf, but I am trying to capture the essence of what I love about wolves and what I love about animals and wildlife. And thank you so much, Mikey Madness. Much appreciated, man. And so that's kind of how I'm going to approach this thing. So let's see what we can do here. So I've got gold paint because there is a gold sparkle finish on the 1960 Telecaster. And I want to see if I can work some gold into this. Not so that it'll be a perfect match by any stretch, but so that it'll kind of have a conversation with the existing guitar. Because there's this element of time when you're working with something that is, has traveled through time from 1960 to today. You want to kind of acknowledge and make sure that you've got... that you have a conversation with it. When I do a commission, it's really important to me anyway to get to know the person, and when they ask for a commission, to know that what they mean when they talk about certain aspects of beauty or art or aesthetics. And so this has been a process of kind of trial and error with the materials, because I've never painted on a pickguard before, but also trial and error with the idea phase of this. And once it started to come together, it really was one of those moments where I knew it was the right thing. I knew it was what I wanted to paint, and I knew how I could make it work. And so little things like, for me, thinking about where the strings are going to be were really important. and thinking about putting things behind the strings to kind of create a sense of mystery and hide them, to have the artwork kind of playing with the strings too as well, interacting with them, so that the musician, when they're playing with the instrument, feels a sense of connection. That too, as well. Yeah, I could do that. You're right. He just cracked me up, man. Oh my Lord. So thinking about those kinds of things for me is really important when I'm doing this kind of work. It's how do I get the most out of what this painting is and what this painting can be. So I'll start out and playing around with lights and darks. And yeah, for those of you guys joining us, I did have an incredible learning experience with painting on pickguards, where I did not realize that pickguards are covered in these pickguards are covered in 2 layers of protective plastic before you can get to the actual surface. And I only removed one, painted on the protective surface, and then peeled it off, and it shrank, fell to pieces. And I went, okay, back to work, because that's what we do here. Back to work. There we go. Look at that. And that's the cool thing about painting, is you can always come back to it and work on it. And I have a feeling that I'm going to be getting some more pickguard commissions if I post this on my Instagram, because the followers on Instagram are always... You're always surprised what they go for, but this is one of those things I'm thinking they're going to like. A brave man likes to feel nature on his face, but a wise man has enough sense to get out of the rain. I eventually had to be brave. Yes, indeed. Big Trouble in Little China, one of my favorite quotes. I love the toast when he says, here's to the Army and the Navy, the battles and the battles that they have won. Here's to America's colors, the colors that never run. And Jack Burton says, may the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Can't think of a better time of the year to cite that quote, and hail, brother. Well said. Well said. That movie, I love that movie. I was obsessed with that movie. We watched that tons of times, and I even have the joke that much of my life, I think, was, and how things went in my life was based on me watching movies and being subconsciously influenced by them. And my wife has green eyes, and I jokingly told her it's because I watched Big Trouble in Little China 1,000 times, and I had burned into my head and my memory. You've got to find a girl with green eyes. It's too funny, man. I can think about that all day. Such a strange thing. And I don't know what she was thinking. Bless her. So when I'm doing this stuff, again, gaining skill at anything, the purpose of gaining skill at anything, and mastery at anything for that matter, is to get to a point where you can play. It's not to get to a point where you're in a constant state of stress. You stress about story, you can stress about composition. The work is absolutely 100% work. But in order to do a great job at it, like any sport, whether it's boxing or whatever, if you go into it and you're too tense and you're too stressed out about it, you're not going to be able to get anything good out of it. And the same thing goes with maintaining that sense of play. That sense of play is really important. Deliberate play, deliberate practice, and deliberate exercises will really move you forward with what you're doing. So here we go. Look at that. I mean, when I look at stuff like this when I'm working, it really is like it's being revealed to me just as much as it is to anyone else. And that's such a fascinating thing to me, how that works. I sit down and like when I started the first version of this, may it rest in peace, but when I started the first version of this, I sat down, first actually several versions of this, because I did try working on a metal one, I did sketches on paper, so I've done a bunch for this. But when I first started doing it, I just knew every time it wasn't right that it wasn't, it wasn't going to work. And I was learning it as I did it. And I'm not afraid of trying something, having it not work out, because I know that, as I did last night, I peeled off that painting. It crumbled to pieces. And then I started working immediately on the surface underneath. I got out my sandpaper, gave it a scuffing so I could get a little bit more of a grab on it. And here we were. We were working already. There we go. This is so... Oh, you know what I just realized? Hang on a second, guys. I just realized I think I have my brightness all the way up on this. And the problem with that is if I have my brightness all the way up, the glares are far more pronounced. And when the glares are pronounced, it's harder for you guys to see what I'm working on. So I'm going to try to make that a little bit easier for you. There we go. There we are. Here we go. Now, I'm always going to have, whenever I paint or create a werewolf, something that's going to be, and this is just a wolf, but something that's going to always be on my mind is, well, actually it's a little bit of a Shanth wolf, so to speak, is going to be Rick Baker's American Werewolf in London. I love that. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Wodenshot. Wodenshot, do you play? Do you play the guitar? Yeah, I was mentioning before, this is for a 1960 Telecaster commission that I have to work on this. And I've never painted on a pickguard before. I've had friends who are musicians my entire life. It never dawned on me to do so until I was commissioned to do it. And it just, finally, after a lot of time and being asked to do it, I thought, you know what? I think I know what I think I can do it, and I think I know what I want to do with it. Mainly because I felt like I got a sense of what the person who commissioned it was about, where they were, and what this pickguard meant to them, and what playing guitar meant to them. So yeah, one of those things. There you go. Wodenshot plays guitar. You heard it here first. Not a Rockin' Robin, Rockin' Owl. Don't get it twisted. And so let's see here. Now, let's see here. We're going to play around with teeth coming down. And where you crop things and where you let things disappear or go off of the pickguard was something I really learned a lot about when I was playing around with that first one, because you don't want to be too confined by the space. You want to have people be able to move through the instrument with it. And so that was really kind of a fun learning curve for this. Was thinking about, and I'm probably going to hit this with, when it's done, I'm probably going to hit it with some, obviously some varnish, but I'm thinking I'm going to hit it with a nice couple of thick coats of that, so it'll have a really nice finish over the painting. And that's what Mrs. Ingeti's going to help me with. Looking forward to that. Always nice to have people around you who have skill sets that are compatible. So you got to love it. Let me see here. All right, let me move this around so I can see my reference. I've got my windows set up so that I can't see my reference as well as I want to. So I'm trying to figure out where I can move it. Let's see here. Right there. Then I come up here. All right, that's good. There we go. Now I'm good to go. All right, so we continue. Wolves are just incredible animals. I was watching a nature documentary on Yellowstone and the wolves in Yellowstone, and I just find them fascinating. I don't ever want to meet one, but I do find them to be incredible animals. Beautiful animals, too. There we go. This is starting to come together. All right. Let me see here if I'm angling this right. It definitely needs to be protected. The pickguard itself obviously exists to be struck. Yes, absolutely right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, and that's what's cool about it is because when people are fans of your work, you get and you know them too. You get to know people a little bit better. You know that it's going to be a process of trial and error with this kind of thing, but I think it's going to be absolutely. I'm learning so much already about it and thinking about it differently. So when the first pickguard incident happened, where I had to start from scratch last night, I took it as an opportunity. And it was funny because it happened the same night I was inspired by a boxer who had a fight in Egypt with Alexander Usyk. He's coming from I don't think it was MMA, it was kickboxing, an amazing athlete. He almost won the fight, but he was knocked out. Some people say it was an early stoppage. I don't think it was an early stoppage. I think he was knocked out, and that's the way it went. And he was, while people were saying, oh, it was, he was ripped off, oh, da-da-da-da-da, he handled, yes, indeed, wolf owl, aroo, that's right. He took his loss so well. He goes, I learned a lot. Obviously, I would have loved to come out and get knocked out in the 12th round if that was going to happen. I wish the ref didn't stop it, but, he won. And it was the classiest post-fight assessment by someone who was, probably concussed. And I just thought, that's the way you have to go into these things. That's the way you dream of holding your head up high and saying those kinds of things and not being so, I don't know, you see fighters who are so petty, and by the way, people will always encourage you to be petty, and so online people were like going, he was robbed, da 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 da, and he just didn't lean into it. He was, to be that highly skilled and to be that humble in defeat and honorable in defeat, I think is even better way of saying it. Great things are going to come to this guy because of it. Already, fans love this guy because of that. They're like, wow, you not only put in a good performance, but you're a class act too. And so when I was sitting here and I was having difficulty with this, I thought to myself, yeah, you could take a page out of this guy's book, Shanth. Take a page out of this guy's book. He really handled himself. He was a credit to the force. To people out there trying to set a better example in terms of artwork, in terms of what they're doing. So I was really impressed by the guy's stuff. Really great stuff. Hang on a second, I gotta blow my nose. I can barely breathe. Hang on one sec, guys. Okay, we're back. Now I just got to figure out where the heck I put that Razor Coyote. On a second. I'll go to this one because this one I pared down a little bit better. There we go. Hopefully we're back and you guys can see me. So yeah, so that was something that really inspired me the other night, or last night, was seeing the way that this guy handled things. You see so many people who just don't handle setbacks well, or things not going exactly their way well, and I just think it's got to be such an exhausting way to experience things. And that guy was just a class act, start to finish. There we go. That's going to be nice to see. Oh, I know. It's not so much that I'm sick as much as my allergies have been terrible. I actually went to a doctor, and he informed me that I have a deviated septum. I can barely breathe through my nose, and I may have to get a procedure done. I looked at the guy and I said, what is the point of having this nose if I can't even get air through it? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I don't understand. But that's my lot in life. I have to, what is it, as Adam Hughes would say, and best wishes to him while he's getting treatment for his cancer. But Adam Hughes used to say when I was in at Gaijin Studios interning, he used to say, that's my bear to cross, and it always cracked me up, man. That guy is hilarious. So now, let's see here, because how am I going to do this? It is a question that I often start with. How the heck am I going to do this? You just got to kind of see the thing at a certain point. Like right now I'm looking at this painting and I'm trying to figure out where do I go with it? Like where's this figure going to go? Where's this thing going to end up? And I need some cool light for skin tone, so I'll buy myself some time with that. You have some soda. That's always good for you health-wise, right? A little soda. Who needs teeth? They're overrated. My goodness. Okie dokie. Let's get a little bit of blue in there. So for those of you guys who have ever wondered how to paint more, effective skin tone, this is the thing everybody always struggles with. When you're painting skin, in the highlights, let me get my reference open here. Just realized I don't want to wing it that much. Is it there? Where did I put the highlights? Shadow, under... There we go. I think this is the one I was looking for. Nope. That is not the one I'm looking for. Is it this one? No. Oh, yeah, it is this one. Ah, beautiful. Yeah, the lighting on this figure is fantastic. I use this model for my art books. I use What's up, Bootlegger Comics? Good to see you, my friend. I hope you are doing well. Painting a pickguard. Yes, I am. Yep, I'm painting a Telecaster pickguard for a 1960s Telecaster. Beautiful. If we had perfect noses, we would all smell funny. You're right. It's so true. It's so true. Let me see here. So, but this model, who these photos were taken in 2012, I think it was, from this company that sells Model Reference. She is fantastic to work from. She is just great. And I've used her for the models in my art books, in Nosfero, and I always use her reference files that I got whenever I got them to paint my figures, because she's got she must be a dancer from what I can gather, because she has a particular fitness in terms of her build that is great for reference. She's not overly worked out. She's not, you can see her muscle tone. Everything in it is really great. So she's a perfect bit of reference for me when I'm working. And I've been using her for my stuff for ages, and you can see her stuff everywhere when I work. But really, really great model. And I think that it's just so critical. I don't like to draw and paint the female figure when I'm doing this kind of work. I don't like to paint the figure out of my head purely. I can. You guys have seen me do stuff like that on live streams, on Kings, and just in general. But there's something about the way that skin works, and subsurface scattering, and just there's something about the grace of the female form. Yeah, she is fit. You're right about that. There's something about the grace of the female form that I think you lose when you get too formulaic with it, for lack of a better way of putting it. Like when you have this is my female figure, this is my male figure, this is what this is. You lose something of the form, and it is to me, there's this reason why some of the pieces that I have sold for the most money, believe it or not, of nude female figure paintings have been to female collectors, artists, and art collectors. And I think it's because there's something that happens that's captured when you paint the female form, when you're actually painting from reference and you're capturing something about it that really seems to speak to them in a very profound way that I don't quite understand. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Subsurface scattering. Got to think about it. Always got to have that on our minds, right? And I don't know what that is. And I mean, I know comic book artists have been experiencing this for a long time. Some of Adam Hughes's biggest fans were his female fans who loved the way he drew and painted women. Dave Stevens was the same way, but Frank Frazetta was the same way. A lot of artists, but there's something about the female form when it's painted and it has a sense of believability and light to it that it seems to be appreciated. And I think that's kind of cool. Not something I ever thought about when I was doing it, because when you're painting figures, you're just trying to have the thing land and not be a total disaster. I mean, I wish I could say, it's a 100% romantic process, but like with everything, it's work in the sense of, not work, but focus and discipline to get it to be what you want it to be. And the guy who's commissioned this said he wants me to have some of my female figures and my artwork on it, and I'm all too happy to oblige. It's my favorite subject, 100% my favorite subject. CG painting theories, the same. Yes, they are. They absolutely are. I've watched, there's a guy that I follow that you might enjoy, Simply Green, and his name is, on Instagram I follow him, his name is Scott Waddell. And Scott Waddell does little painting how-to videos on various subjects. And one of the ones he did recently, or not recently, probably years ago, but one of the ones that he did was how to paint the human ear. And when he was doing it, he built a 3D model to show what he was doing with the light. So not only is he a skilled painter, but he also can 3D model too, just like my brother can. My brother can 3D model and paint as well. He was doing some my brother was repairing a accordion and doing egg tempera painting when I called him the other day. He is really a legitimate brilliant man. He's incredible. I've never met anybody who can study more. I have 2 of his landscape paintings in my house. Brilliant landscape painter, brilliant science fiction illustrator. Great guy. And all my books, after you see the dedication to my wife and kids, in all of my books, the next dedication after that, because I do consider him family, is to my big brother, is what I always say in Spanish. And so that's him. So yeah, amazing guy. Just a terrific guy, terrific talent. Hey, what's up, Tiny Effort? How are you doing? The original Springball fan is here. Indeed. Yeah, radiosity, diffuse lighting, and color transfer, 100%. Yeah, that's why I think all of these different disciplines, when you find people who are skilled in a particular discipline and understand it, it becomes an avenue of communication with other people who are skilled in different disciplines. We all can kind of communicate about certain things and be conversant about certain things in a way that is not possible without that certain kinds of understanding and deep exploration into things. And so, yeah, this is definitely something that I've seen with my brother and other artists, whatever they do, whether it's 3D, traditional. There we go. And let's see. Hip bone. I was so terrified of paint and color when I was younger, and it's so funny to think that I taught it for, gosh, what was it, 18 years teaching this at the college level, and you just never know where life's going to take you. You can't ever know. You just have to show up and work hard and listen when God's trying to tell you something. And I'm pretty thick, so sometimes it takes me a while to hear things. But I get there in the end, hopefully. Let's see here. guess I'll know when when I'm called home, right? That's when we'll know. There we go. That's starting to work for me. I just realized I've got to adjust the gamma for you guys. Hang on a second. This razor. Let's go to... let's see where the gamma is. There we go. I have to adjust the gamma for you guys because you guys can't really see it with the reflective nature of the paint. So let me see where I can find the right. Match the screen to what you're seeing here. I think that's about right. I think that's about where it is. So hopefully you can see this a little better. What's up, Mighty Geek Studios? I hope you don't plan on using that palette. That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, no, hey, listen. This is a pick guard. Think about that for a minute. The Judge Dredd PS2 game heavily used it. Oh, really? No kidding. Yeah, oh, yeah. I was just thinking about the movie Dredd. Sorry, that just popped into my head. Love that movie. And you can always go a bit further into stylization using those methods, tricks, rim lighting, all of that stuff. So true. I never expected to be an awful heckling internet owl. I disagree with the awful part. And I respect the game, Wodenshot. I respect the game, my friend. I would say a lot of artists have an intuitive understanding of things lighting, but to understand the science behind it, it's a background thing, but if you nail the lighting, it stands out. You're right. You know, one of the things that cracks me up the most, whether it's Springball or it's Nosfero or anything else I'm doing, is the fact that anybody looks at my stuff and is like, wow, the color is so good on that, because I struggled with the color. And I just think sometimes if I had quit trying to figure out color or trying to paint in color or work in color, I mean, my God, that would have been just a terrible thing, because it's one of the things that I love the most and that people respond to the most in the work I do. And there's this thing that happens when you start to really understand color. It's why I love teaching painting. I'm so proud of Eric Weathers. He is doing some really, really great stuff with his artwork, with his career in painting. And I was just talking to my wife about it this morning, and I said... he was another I mean, it was so funny because he's younger than me, and he was like, is it too late for me to start painting? And I just thought, oh my gosh, I hope not. And he started, there it is, truth, Wodenshot. He came so far so fast, and when he started, he was so nervous, and then once it finally clicked over, man, there's so many people I would love if they were interested to teach them painting, because most people don't know how to teach painting, I've found. And I'm talking about at college, at every single level. Most people have no idea how to teach painting. I've taught more people who work in the industry that you guys probably even might know how to do color theory and how color theory works than you can shake a stick at. And it's a shame, because once teachers like myself aren't teaching color anymore and aren't present in institutions, it just goes away. It's so unfortunate to see the drop-off in skill, but... you know, they've got to prioritize that. And they're not going to. It's not what they want to do. They want to teach politics, and they want to teach, sitting in a classroom and talking about, critical theory instead of talking about whether a hand is right or not. And that's, unfortunately, you get more peace of mind from competency and a skill than you ever do from being trapped in your own head and overthinking things. And that's a big problem I see happening. Okay, there's where she is. Okay, I'm starting to see where she's supposed to go. Oh, wait, there she is. I don't want to lose it. There she is. She's going to be right in there. Sorry, I just saw something here. One thing that I like looking for in scientific edge cases, which can translate to art, is Fringe was basically just that as a series. Oh, yes, yeah. I've heard so many good things about Fringe from so many people at this point, so it must be good. Let's see here. So I've got this. And then, let me see here. She's going to go in there. Question is, let me see here. How to find her. So if you've ever looked at clouds and looked for things in clouds, that's very much how I think about paint when I'm putting it down. Is where can I see figures emerging? That's why I like to work like this. I like to just kind of push the media around. And so this part right here, for those of you guys who, know almost anything about guitars, this is, light. I gotcha. 100%. So if you know anything about guitars, this is where the strings are going to be. And so for this is where I want to have one of the figures. Because I want it to be something that you might not notice, or that you might have to get close to the guitar to see. So it's got a little bit more. I'm trying to make this thing as sensual and as I want a certain vitality to it and a certain sensualness to it that I am striving for, and a certain lyrical quality. That's the other important factor of this, is making sure that it has that lyrical quality. I talk about that a lot when I'm describing artwork. I remember I described Art T-Bear's work as lyrical, and shout out to Art T-Bear, when I was describing his artwork, and people thought I was crazy. They were like, what do you mean lyrical? And I'm like, lyrical, musical, it's got a sense of play to it. They were like, what the heck are you talking about, Sean? Oh my gosh. But yes, it's something I strive for in my own work, so obviously it's something I appreciate in other people's work as well. There we go. Got to make sure I don't lose angles when I'm doing this stuff. And the thing about pushing paint around is that you can, reassert your angles if you lose them. And you'll see me do that a lot when I'm working, because I'm going to need to move that way back. She has to go. Let me just sketch in the arc of the figure where I'm going. That'll help me to maintain it. You see all that? Like all of those little noodly lines I was starting to put into play. If they're in the wrong place, just move them over. Don't worry about it. It's just paint. It's just paint. His drawing, Art T-Bear's drawing, has a. Are you familiar with Steve Reich's theories on music? Someone introduced me to Stephen Reich's theories on music, and I was looking at it, and it was interesting stuff. He was I don't know if I completely understand it, but he was just talking about the idea of rhythm versus melody, and the thing that he said about rhythm versus melody that I found rather interesting, because I'd never thought about it, because I'm not a musician. I play the violin a little bit just to blow off steam. I should say I aspire to play the fiddle, because that's what I sort of grew up on. But he talked about the idea of the difference between rhythm and melody. And so to me, when someone is when someone is competent at putting down ink lines in such a way that you can see the form described, but it feels more mechanical and mechanistic, what they have is an understanding of rhythm. And when somebody makes those lines in that readability dance, then they have something that's more akin to melody, and that's when I start describing it as having a lyrical quality. And so Art T-Bear's work has that lyrical quality for me. It's so hard to describe, but hopefully you're seeing a little bit of it here in this with what I'm doing, in terms of what I mean, not in terms of the literal definitions. I mean, heaven help me. I was telling my wife the other day that whenever I find myself streaming with Shane Davis, I'm fairly certain that we're both murdering the English language. God knows. Heavens to Betsy. It just cracks me up, man. But, that's how we do. There was something I was talking to my wife the other day, and there was something where I just was laughing because I pronounce a lot of stuff wrong that I've never heard before, and then I keep pronouncing it wrong just for her amusement. And it's too funny. Oh my Lord, bless that woman. There we go. I mean, look at how the paint moves too. It's I just don't like the idea of fighting the paint when it's trying to do something. I know where I want it to go, but I also want it to be paint. There we go. Alrighty. Let me see here. What is up, Thrash? Oh my gosh. Trash Can Conductor. I think I got it. Welcome, nerd. I know, you're right. It's true. I'm kidding. What's up, Timmy Mello, channel member? I just was, when I was doing the credits, I saw your membership and put a huge smile on my face, man. It's great to see you. It's been many years. We have come a long way, you and I, in the best sense. It's wild. That's one of the things that's been so fun about this, is getting to know you guys over time. I mean, Mark's Music Obsession just celebrated 32 months, and I remember when he was new. So funny. Hail Mark. Cannot wait to get those Nosfero books in, guys. I cannot wait. I just wish, I mean, apparently they're going to be shipping them on June 5th, and I'm sure there'll be all these logistics involved in it with the printer, but man, am I excited. I've been waiting on those books ever since the printer that I usually use went out of business. It was the search for a printer that could do the quality that I want and that I want you guys to have, obviously, and looking for someone who was going to be able to really bring that quality together, and then making sure that I got the files prepped for them, because they caught stuff, and I caught stuff because they were sending me the proofs that were not, like, I was like, what is wrong there? And I had the wrong file in a particular place that somehow got synced up somehow. It was just nuts, the stuff you go through. But there it is. Big 42 this May, 42 months of membership. What is up, Baroque Boutique? Shipping update on Nosfero. They're shipping me the books on June 6th. God willing, and the creek don't rise. That's what the schedule says at their print shop. And then as soon as I get them, then I start putting stuff together and begin that process, which is going to be nuts. But very, very soon. Very, very soon. And if you haven't seen them, because I don't recognize the handle here, these are the two proofs that are, I paid for the, off the printers the books are going to be printed on without some of the finishing. So this is exactly what you're going to get when you get these books. So you're going to get, this is a look at the print quality you're going to get. It is unbelievable how great they did with the color. I am my first, and they're being printed in the States. They're being printed in the U.S. in Tennessee, my old stomping ground. But look at the quality of it. This is a first version of the cover, because there's all this behind the scenes stuff in the art edition, as well as the bonus features. But look at some of the. Sorry, I got distracted, but someone asked me a question. I've been very excited about these books. This is one of the interstitial pages in the comic. Look at this high resolution detail of a page in process. How crazy. Oh my gosh, Baroque Boutique. My pleasure, my friend. My pleasure. This is the best thing. And since you just came in, I also wanted to show, as I work on and do some prep work on Nosfero 2 Death Will Die, which is going to be the book. I'll be working on it after I do Springball. I'll probably start working on it a little bit. This is the maquette that I built using I think it's called Boss Fight Studio blank figure. I sculpted a mask for it, and then built the costume design. Oh, geez. Thank you, Baroque Boutique. It's always nice to hear that. Really is nice, and can't tell you what that means. That means a lot to me. Simply agree the music of Minecraft is absolutely gorgeous, albeit the recent music has made some missteps. I don't know about the... oh, shoot, it just jumped. What really gave me respect for minimalist composing was Minecraft. There you go. Oh, nice. That's a sweet nose for action figure. Thank you, Timmy Mello, man. I appreciate it, brother. It's great to see you guys on a Sunday. You know what? I miss you guys when I don't see you on a Sunday. It's crazy. And, keeping this routine, with the exception of, Mother's Day or something like that, or Easter or things like that, has just been so great because you guys know where you can find me on a Sunday. It's a great way to kind of get to the week and have sort of a nice time to kind of center ourselves before we get after it, or on a long weekend, just kind of give us a little bit of peace. I always loved and still love watching, when I get a chance, watching Bob Ross when I came home from school. Just a great human being. Everybody who knew him said what you saw is what you got with the man. He was a good dude. And I always loved that stuff because he never made anybody, I don't know how to describe it. I feel like I'm about to quote Dukes of Hazzard. Just a good old boy. Never meant any harm. Beats all you ever saw. Been in trouble with the law since the day he was born. Straighten the curve. Flatten the hill. Someday the mountain might get him. But the law never will. That's what it's about for me. But I love Bob Ross. Love Bob Ross. What's up, Rachel Brinkley? How are you doing? It's great to see you. Let's see. I stick to the original soundtrack. Yeah, so I don't know a lot. My son played it like crazy. And, of course, now he's an engineering student. So, hardly shocking. But he played it, and I think he really liked the music, if I recall. But yeah, I've heard good things about it. I've listened to it, but I can't recall it, unfortunately, because I can't play Minecraft because I always want to paint whenever I get a second. I do this for both recreation and work, although I am trying to get myself playing the violin more for fun. I would love to learn the Dukes of Hazzard theme song on violin. That would be awesome. I like to play Scratch Out as best as I can. The Ashokan Farewell from the version on Ken Burns' Civil War. Love stuff like that. So I'm always trying to figure this stuff out. I think that stuff is just good for the soul, man, Let me see here. Let me move her over here so I can see you guys in the chat. Got an umbrella tree for a birthday gift. Named it Judas. There you go. Is it your birthday? Is it your birthday today? He had a squirrel. Yes, he did. He had a pocket squirrel, and I'm using squirrels in my art too, so has to be done. Yeah, Bob was a legend, man. What a great dude. What a great dude. There's this painter I like whose name is, I think, Kosta Dovsky. Is it Dovsky, or I can't pronounce it. I think it's a Russian name. I'm not positive. It could be something else. But and he does these really great kind of core highlights on his figures. And I've been thinking about him a little bit too as I'm working on this, and what I like about his stuff. Really amazing artist. See, I went a little warm right there with that shadow. Or sorry, with that highlight, and it always is a reminder to me whenever I do that I really want to do is go lighter. Or cooler, more blue. So I'm going to take a little bit of my, what's it called? Which blue is it? My manganese blue right there, and mix that in. Finally matched Ethan's age of 51 for a few months. Awesome. Well, I'm going to be 50 September 2nd, so coming up on it. So, hail, it's great to see you, and happy birthday, Rachel Brinkley. Hopefully not too belated. Zoomers won't have a lot of nostalgia for their childhood like we have, but one thing that we'll have is hearing Minecraft music again years later in class. That's true. Remember William Alexander? Of course I do. Yeah, my friend has a book on his paintings, actually. He was a precursor to Bob Ross. I watched him for a few years before Bob came along. Yes, a few days ago. Well, happy belated birthday, Rachel Brinkley. I am so glad to have you with us. Another trip around the sun, as they say. Color theory is glossed over in most colleges. Don't I know it? That's why my classes were so packed, is because it was so hard to find somebody to teach it. And that's just crazy to me. And my buddy who still works in that field has told me it has only gotten worse. Only gotten worse. All art education at this point, and I don't think this is a just a matter of, this is, I'm not saying this as a dig. I'm saying this as a statement of fact. I think they would probably even agree with it, but all art education right now is geared towards installations, creating fine arts installations, spaces for people to go in and have experiences, whatever the heck those may be, and performance art. Those are the big things that they're pushing, and their ideal idea, whether it's illustration or graphic design or anything else, seems to be not to teach you what the field is going to be like, but to try to tell you how to view it as fine art and how to view it as a form of performance art. And that is a strange thing to me to make, because it's commercial art. You learn things from yes, it's absolutely true. 100%. Yeah, we're rapidly approaching a severe competency crisis. We are already seeing it manifest. Yes, absolutely right. It's crazy how much skills have been lost. Modernization, you're absolutely right. Archive, the Doom comic page, very cool, nice. Basically, that's kind of the way that it's viewed, and I think that any chance to watch people and talk about skill, like I would really love. My wife is always talking to me. She's like going, "I'm teaching these, all these classes that get offered in the summer." She goes, they're like $500 for 6 weeks to learn this stuff, and she's like, you should be teaching classes like that. And I just don't have the infrastructure for me to feel comfortable doing it yet, and I'll have to think about it too. But because it's a lot, teaching is a lot. If to do it right and do it the way that I do it, it's a lot. But it's tough. Like, how do you pass along skill? How do you skill people up? De-skilling, as it has come to be known, is probably one of the greatest problems that we're facing right now, is that you're also seeing people in colleges and educational institutions push out the most skilled people who focus on skill, because a skilled person, if you really think about it, a skilled person does not make anybody feel better for not having skill. They make people feel inspired who want to learn, and they make people feel invigorated who appreciate skill. But they don't make administrators and bureaucratic-minded educators feel better. And so that's the problem that we're dealing with, is that there's more of those people than skilled people, so that starts to go right out the window. Make it online course, make it a members-only perk. Yeah, I just don't even know how I would set it up in a way that I could sustain it in terms of structure. So this is also a practice for that, what I'm doing here, building this stuff up. The education of Gothic architecture and art history comes to mind. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, geez, thank you, Mikey Madness. I appreciate that, Mikey's Madness. The human soul cannot be captured with numbers 100%. I learned color theory at the for-profit college when I got my degrees of graphics. My wife went to an online school for graphic design and learned, I think, more there, or at least as much there as she learned in 4 years. Not to take anything away from her college experience at all, because we were talking about how transformative it was back then versus what it's like now at the college we went to. But she had a really amazing experience, and she learned so much on this online course. Gosh, when we were, I want to say our late 30s, I think it was. Hang on a second, guys. I got to blow my nose again. I apologize, but it's out of control. It's got to be stopped. Okay, and we are back. There we go. Oh my gosh. So let me grab a little sip of soda here, and then you can see me work upside down too, which is important. Yeah, teaching color theory is like magic. I absolutely loved teaching color theory. It was one of my favorite things to do. Honestly, um, so it had been a while since I had taught college, and then Eric wanted to learn how to paint, and I was like, I want to help him, but I was also kind of like, I feel like I was not in a great place with teaching, to put it simply, and because I used to say, well, the thing with me is when I teach people, it's a great benefit, but then I would run into so many people who there wasn't a wild amount of. I got a message in particular, but there were a few messages and a few end of my teaching career circumstances of just really vile student interactions that were almost comical, and just in terms of disrespect and all of that kind of nasty sort of stuff that I would never have done when I was a student, and then also former students who, when they found out that I was in Comicsgate doing comics, which is insane to me. This one student wrote me a message that was totally a projection of what he himself is like, and I just thought to myself, what, who am I even helping? And it's like, what was that? What on earth? My mentor means everything to me. I would never be disrespectful to him, ever. It wouldn't dawn on me to do that. And plus, growing up in the South too, I mean, it's just not something you do. And I wasn't angry. I wasn't I was disgusted. I just went, oh man, that's really, I wish I didn't know that about you, that you were that kind of, I wish I could have just tried to assume the best there and not worry about it. But that's what happens when people get sucked into, internet, the internet politics, and get so trapped in their thing that they think everyone else is. And that's really was unfortunate. But anyway, it was just so tacky, and for lack of a better way of putting it. And so I was a little reticent to teach Eric, and by the time he got to the point to where he had just over, I think maybe a year and a half or so under his belt, maybe 2 years, he won one of the Comicsgate King's art auctions and made money. And he used to jokingly say to me, and I'd always give him grief about it, Eric, I know if you're watching this later, it's true. When am I going to make money off of this? And I was just going, first we learn to paint. Because, he's a dad. He's got a family. He's got pressures. Everybody does, man. Yeah, it is. That stuff definitely affects you, Matthew. And it was great seeing you the other night, by the way. Great hanging out with you. I have no idea. I could think about that all day, Rachel. I could think about that all day. And yes, exactly. Yes, they did. Yep. But here's something even crazier than that, right? It was here. I don't know how to describe it. I would see people talk about not talking to their friends they'd had for years or whatever, or family members, over how they voted in an election one time. And I thought, you have no relationship with these people if that's how you view things. You need a genuine, according to Hoyle, crisis or something to learn how to appreciate people. Because if your regard for people is so tied to your control over them and your judgment of them doing the right or wrong thing, in terms of their freedom to express themselves, in this country, you need some serious help. And I was sort of shocked by that. And I think people tend to see this stuff, you not thinking exactly like them, as an attack on them. And I don't get it, man. I do not get it. Maybe it's cultural. I find all the people in Comicsgate and Indie Comics great, even the shit stirs. Yes, exactly. Listen, I have gotten more help and more collegiality than I ever did in academia. I actually sent a message to Graham Nolan, because he actually helped me find my current printer that I'm using.
because he prints his stuff in the States, and we've got that sort of similar thing, that we it's very important to us. And I said, who do you use? He put me in. He goes, this is my contact there. Reach out to her. Say Graham sent you. Graham was just so great. And I said to him, when I told my wife about it, she said, I like your colleagues in Comicsgate more than I like your colleagues that used to have in academia, barring, of course, my brother. And it cracked me up. Yeah, I know. I've heard so many people say that. Yeah, that's the real zombie outbreak, zombie apocalypse of identity politics. You're absolutely right. Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. Most of us normal folks don't get the hive mind mentality. You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's funny too because I haven't been able to really truly think about comics like I have around, especially some of my favorite things to do. I haven't done one in a while because everything has been so nuts and I haven't read the books or had time to read the books. I got to ask John about that, what he's doing next. But were the comic book streams I would do with John for his members only streams. And we would just deep dive into something like, what's called Creep Show or Tomb of Dracula. And man, it's so inspiring to talk about lettering and John Workman and all the stuff that he's into and talk about coloring and all that stuff. And John was the first person in Comicsgate and the only person I think right now that I ran Springball by. I said, John, I want your thoughts. He gave me some great notes, and it changed for the massively better. He freed up the way I thought about Springball with his notes. I can't say it any better than that. Springball is the book it's going to be because of having an artist and a real... there's nothing more valuable than, as C.S. Lewis and Tolkien used to talk about it, people who have an inkling of what it is you're trying to do and people who are fellow travelers in your craft. And that was the thing that was so great about having John to run things by. And to me, that's the most precious thing in the world is when someone's... And John, here's something about John that people don't know. I'm sorry, John, to be telling tales out of school in terms of just talking about you in general, but whatever. It's compliments, so deal with it. John has very strong opinions about things, but John doesn't... John trusts that you have enough strong opinions to where you know what to do. Like, whether you're old enough to know whether you should take advice or not, but he's very clear with what he says. And he's not trying to get you to make his comic book. He's trying to get you to see, which is so rare. He may be one of the few people I've ever had this experience with, because usually I'm on the giving end of this. He helps you see the potential in your work. And where, like, in terms of, have you considered that you could do this here? And you go, excellent. It's great. And he's very good. He's probably, he would make an incredible editor-in-chief of any comic book company. He's just great. Yeah, managed to dodge the COVID jabs in Canada. Well done, Rachel. Yeah, Matthew, remember, hail bro, we got to get you a better mic for you to use on these streams. Oh, I didn't know it was that bad, but then you know me. God knows what my mic sounds like. Let me see here. Yeah, style and identity politics. Yes, 100%. A great mangaka was just chased off social, oh my gosh, because of cancel culture, still alive even at this day. And what's crazy is that they claimed to consume her own art, yet wanted to police her style. Yeah, exactly. I'm a huge fan, but I need you to do things this way. Yeah, Malin is blue collar like me as well. Yeah, I tend to really connect with, outside of fellow Southerners, like I think that's, Shane I feel like I have a shorthand with, because culturally, at least in terms of certain things, like he reminds me a lot of how I think about things when it comes to art and comics. I mean, we have different takes on things, but we do line up on occasion for sure. And but people from Michigan, man, people from the Rust Belt, so it's like the South. It's very strange, man. But a lot of people in Comicsgate. I think the thing that was probably frustrating for me when I was going to school was I naturally got on with people who were not in my exact grade. I got in along with a lot of different people. And you oftentimes, you don't get to spend time around people who aren't in your age demo till you get to college. Everybody's just about the same age. And I really think that that's what's fun about Comicsgate, because my interests are what I am passionate about, not my manufacturing date, as they say. And so, like, I can have a long conversation about Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein and the Wolfman with Graham, and we could go down that road. And then I can have a lengthy conversation about Rob Liefeld stuff with John Malin and go crazy into that. And it's nice. It's nice to have that. And I think that's what people enjoy about Comicsgate, is the fact that, you know, we get to have those conversations here. Oh, airport. Yeah, autocorrect has been getting me, man. Thankfully, that all went away with the stats. Yes. Oh, my gosh. You guys are cracking me up today. Where is it? There we go. Oh, yeah. Proved it was a lie. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been a wild time, to be sure. It's been, you could have knocked me over with a feather with how nuts people had gotten, but at the same time, it was always there, you know, or it was always waiting to bubble up. And I think the more when I think about Comicsgate, and when I think about what was at stake to say I was Comicsgate, I mean, you want to talk about a place that cancel culture got its start in education. And Jordan Peterson was one of the first big, you know, cancel cases that kind of really blew the lid off of it. I mean, that's where they were learning it. That's where, you know, this sort of stuff was being, you know, taught and explained. It started actually with a professor at Harvard in their law department from way back, who started the whole microaggression, you know, that whole push, and really turbocharged it. And it was very scary to come out and sort of associate with people in Comicsgate. It's much easier now, but it was very scary back then. Most CG... Shoot, let me see if I can get that to work. Most CG seems to be aiming for the same demographic: teen violence, blood, sexualization, but not nudity. Stories for the younger generation, but that an adult would enjoy reading. That's kind of where I'm going with Springball, funny enough, but you're right, yeah. It's it's so funny. I'm in the weirdest spot with it. Because I'm influenced by. I start with the work. I don't know if I'd have to ask other creators if they think about. I think Shane probably does, because he's talked about it a bit. But I'd have to ask other creators how much they think about their age demo. But I owe Anna, that Star Wars gal, for leading me to Comicsgate. Rest in peace, Jack Show. Yeah, Anna was always very welcoming to me, and I actually went on one of her live painting streams and painted with her once, and she said some really nice things, messages for me to pass along to my daughter when my daughter was in middle school and was dealing with some girl bullies, because I shared, because she had posted a video about being bullied when she was in school, and I shared that with my daughter, and then she had some kind words for my daughter. I'll always really appreciate that. And so yeah, that was quite great. Academia is 100%. Yeah. I have a master's degree. I had it written out for me. I have it in a textbook. It's nuts. Like, I mean, seriously, like chapter on Marxism for understanding artwork. It's not, I'm not even kidding. It's nuts. Let me see here. Let's bring this up. And then structure. There we go. There we are. And you can see how, you know, we push the paint around and things like that, and we try to figure out where things are going, and then all of a sudden you see the angles, you see the lines, and you kind of go, okay, this is where it goes. It's I don't know how to describe it, but it's all a part of the process of figuring the paint out, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing around with where I take the you know, where the wolf aspect of it asserts itself, and then where the figure aspect of it asserts itself. And they're going to hopefully, as I, you know, put this thing together, they're going to merge into one another, and it's going to be this really great sort of surreal Art Nouveau Czech, Mucha Art Nouveau, melting in and out of form. That to me is engaging and hopefully has the musical quality that the instrument has, that 1960 Telecaster I'm painting this for has. Yeah, that seems to be the demographic here for now. Branching out further will take time. It's so true in so many different ways. You're correct. I've been thinking about that when I do the experiments I do. I was doing an experiment because I don't know if you guys know this, but Andy Smith did the cover for my first professional work when he was a new comic book artist and I was doing my first pro job. So I was 17 and don't know how old Andy was at the time, but I think it was one of the first things he did. And he did the cover to my first professional job. And that was just the coolest thing to find him here and to think about that. So I was doing an experiment with what I would do if I did a cover in the Springball style of Andy Smith's First Man. I was experimenting with that for the last couple of days off and on while I wasn't doing work. When I was relaxing from doing work and I was doing work. And I was just thinking about how you can, the logo, what I would do with the logo, what I would do with, do for a cover. Because I usually start with type when I'm doing comic book stuff, funny enough. I did that with the Silence Do-Good cover. And that kind of happened with Andy's stuff. And thinking about the fun of that kind of stuff, Thinking about the fun of it. Let me see here. Yeah, Soviet Marxism got us the space race, while Nazism and Marxism gave us the autobahn. Yes, exactly. Yeah, Marxism of 100 years ago was better. Yeah, I mean, well, it can't be worse, right? Depending on where you were located. Let me see here. It's probably always bad. I'm trying to think of the history of it. It hasn't gone well. But let me see if I can find this here for you guys and call this up. Not this one, not this one. So I'll show you. I'll give you a little look at something nuts that I've been playing around with in Photoshop, and we'll see how it goes. If you haven't hit the like yet, make sure you do. Make sure you're subscribed if you aren't, and we will go from there. So I love lettering. I love type. That's one of the reasons I wanted to show you guys the Zenarian guide to hand lettering and engrossing. Cancel. Why is that happening? Yeah, very weird thing to paint on. 100% weird thing to paint on. Yeah, pick guard, huh? Isn't that crazy? Well, I'll show you something that is even weirder. Actually, I don't know if I want to show this yet because I'm not happy with where it's at right now. Should I show you the scribbles? Because it shows how I paint, but I don't know if I want to show this. Let me see. If I get some ones in the chat, maybe I'll show it. Just let me know if you guys want to see this First Man thing I was playing around with. It's not a thing of beauty, so take it with a grain of salt if I do show it. But get some ones in the chat. What's up, Rock Crin? How are you doing, my friend? Hail Comics Gate, the Cosmic Boy has arrived. What's happening today? Nothing much. Nothing much. Just working, painting, and spending some time with all you lovely people. Okay, we got a couple of ones there. One, do it, says Glass Machine. All right. So I'll show you my latest foray into insanity. Let me see if this works here. Got to make sure I closed all my reference because I never know if I share this if it's gonna show. There we go. If it's gonna show everything on my desktop, because I'd hate for the photo reference to come up and get my channel hit. So let's see here. Okay, so here you go. So this right here. Whoops, that didn't work. This right here, close that out, is what I'm working on. So I started out by playing around with the logo and thinking about the vibe of the book. And you can see how exactly how I paint is how I paint digital. This is all rough right here. No pun intended with the dog there. But this is all rough, and I started playing around. Now I'm going to start laughing at that pun, man. I'll do my best, Glass Machine, but no guarantees. Yeah, I do. Definitely. Well, that's probably true. My kids could probably tell you that. I'm fair but firm. What's up, Test Chip? How you doing? So I started thinking about the type because it's easier for me to start from a standpoint of looking at the type. And so I started thinking about that, and then I started thinking about this thing I've been thinking about, because we were talking about age demographics. And I was thinking about how when I got to the point on the Silence Do Good artwork where I put the squirrel into it, it really activated something. And I thought, there really should be... There's something fun about those comics when there were, cute aspects of them, fun aspects of them, playful aspects of them. And so I decided that I was going to carry this through in all of my experiments with Comicsgate stuff and Comicsgate covers. And so I decided that we needed a puppy for First Man. And so I did this story of Penumbra and First Man getting attacked by tiny flying saucer aliens. And that there was going to be he would have a puppy that he was holding and protecting that had caught one of the flying saucers in its mouth like a frisbee. And that's the seed of the idea. It's got a long ways to go. The anatomy is barking, and no pun intended, but that's what it is. Yeah, exactly. That man color should be contrasting to stand out as it's close to the plains color. I think I know what you're saying. Try that again a different way. I think I understand what you're saying. That man color should be more contrasting to stand out as it's so close to that plane. I think I know what you mean. Planet, got it. There you go. Yes, color's not done yet. I'm going to have to make him much more contrasting, push things. Those puppies sure are barking. That's a cute dog too. Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, like, let's have some fun. Let's make things cartoony. And this is what I love about working this way. I'll show you some fun stuff while we're here. Let's do it, right? So one of the things, I probably don't even need to do that when I think about it. Do I, though? That's a really good question. All right, we'll do this. So when I'm looking at stuff like this, the thing I like to do... Actually, I think I could just put it on its own layer. Hang on a second. You guys can see my layers of me trying to figure this thing out. Let's do... I have that eCam window there. Let's copy this layer. And then we can play around. Image adjustments. Let's go to color balance and see where we could go. So if I were to adjust... Is that working? Cancel. Of course it's not, because I have the background selected. Image adjustment, color balance. Let's play around with it, and I'll show you all the fun we can have with color. So I can warm the figure up. Play around with it standing off of the ground in a very extreme fashion. Right? Do things like that. Then I can do image adjustment, hue saturation. And I can say to myself, maybe I need to make this figure a little brighter off of that ground. Or I need to make this figure... Nope, I don't think darker is the way to go. And play around with the saturation a little bit more. Play around with... Now, obviously, I'm not going to change the the look of this character. But you can see there's so much room to move when you build these things as layers. As layers in terms of how they go together and how, the effects work. So there's always room to play with it. But what I'm really enjoying about it is I wanted to give this guy... I'm just going to leave it like that just so we can play around with it and see what we have. See what I mean? Yeah, the contrast is 100% necessary. So the way that I'd solve that is I would create a layer and just go into image. You guys know this well, I'm sure. Go into levels. And brighten him up. Move some of the middles a little bit. Probably would push him a little warmer. That's it. Okay on that. Image adjustments, color balance. Let's make him a little... Is it working? Come on now. There we go. Yeah, warm him up a little bit. Probably go in and grab the dog from the previous layer. But you guys can see how quickly when you have things in layers... Look at that. See what I mean? But good call, Rachel. 100%. 100%. Does that make sense? Oh, I'm going to. Don't worry. It goes with the territory. I'm required. Yep.
Absolutely. I love everybody. I assume you'll brighten the characters. Springball boobs on this one too. Yeah, you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. I'm going to have to do it. Plan it. But do you guys see, does that, Simply Green, do you see what how that stuff works when I'm starting it? Just trying to get, and I have not yet begun to defile myself, to quote Doc Holliday in Tombstone. I have not yet begun to do what I'm going to do with these characters in this world. The main thing was getting the writing done, which the visual writing, figuring out the world and figuring out like how there's going to be little tiny flying saucers on fire in this that are falling. I was referring to the letters. Oh, the letters. There you go. I can do those too. Let's do that. Isn't this fun? This is Sunday. This is Comicsgate to me. Not all of it, of course, because I was thinking someone's going to be like, Comicsgate is many things. I know. I'm not trying to define it. But this is what makes it fun for me when I'm doing this stuff, which is being able to interact with you guys and show you guys what the process is, how it works. So I'm going to grab all that. And I'm going to go... We'll just copy that. I could do the whole group, but you know what? Let me just do the whole group. Let's do that. Because it's just better that way. So copy the group. Lock that. Merge the group. And then let me go to image adjustments. Hue saturation. Let's see here. Oh, wow. I just realized I have a paw bit of lighting on it somewhere in that group. I better sort that out. See the dog's paw changing? That's so funny. Now, I probably would keep the, obviously the colors on the first, but I just want to see what I can do with it here. Cancel. Let me go here. Image adjustments. Let's do levels. See what that does. Oh, there you go. That starts to stand out. And then I can go to the figure. Where's the figure? It's down here. There it is. But where is the figure? Oh, my lordy lord. Where did I put it? It's not down here. That's group 3. Group 4. There he is. Oh, that's the other one. Okay. Which one is that? Oh, that's the lighter one. Let's take a look at all the different funny options we did with the figure. And then here's this one. And now what I can do is, because I have this on its own layer, is I can show you what we started with. And then show you the range that we can play within. So everything from here to here. And I can also do things like erase out of this to almost use it like a painting, which is kind of fun. Which, again, I'm painting this, so that's the fun part of it. But yeah, that's the process for me when I'm looking at something like this. Does that make sense? That seems like one of those little tricks where you can draw the scene, then take the characters and just bump the contrast saturation a bit to make them pop off the background. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. Rachel's like panicked. It's like, it's okay, Rachel. It's going to be all right. If you want to make someone pop out in a photo, select them, inverse apply. You're right. Gaussian blur to the rest of the photo. 100%. Yep. There you go. It's all right, Rachel. You see what I mean? We're having fun. We're making things readable. We're making things work. And we're working like crazy. And you guys are ringside for the madness of this. Absolutely ringside for the madness of this. And what's been really crazy for me when I'm working on this stuff, and I've probably talked about this a little bit with you guys, is it's hard for me to think in terms of comic book size, right? Because, or how big something is going to be when it's comic book, because I haven't worked at that scale for a while. So I've been grabbing comic book covers that are classic comic book covers that I love, and using them to figure out, okay, that cover hit me really hard. The head felt like it was pretty big, but how big was it really in the composition? And I've been using that to scale various figures up so this thing will read. And so the bleed space on this, as it's designed, I'm going to need to really probably crop it in a little bit more. But there's the safe bleed space, where is it?
So I have these little templates, and you can sort of see that I'm going to need to move some stuff around. But these little templates will show you what the bleed space is and where it would go. But I'm actually really, I'm really happy with I'm feeling this kind of Captain Kirk vibe for First Man in this for some reason. Don't ask me why. But and I think that also happened when I was messing around with the logo and trying to come up with how I would do the logo for First Man, because I love that, that really trying to think about it as a whole thing and playing around with it. But something that I just thought of, because we were just talking about it, is, let me see if I can make this work. Is I've got the title on its own layer. Let's move this title down wherever he is. There we go. Let's move this title down, and then I want it above her. I don't know why I've got part of that dog's paw on there. That's really funny. Did not mean for that to happen. So let me deselect that so I can see where I'm at. There we go. You can start playing around with things like moving it behind the character's head. You got to figure out, there's got to be some rhyme or reason to it. But I've never been one to dislike having the character appear in front of the logo. I think that can be really fun. I just would have to figure out the scale and how I wanted it to come together, but that could be really fun as something. But yeah, shout out to Andy Smith and First Man and all the stuff he's doing. So wild the way paths cross in this space and how we all kind of come together. Wow, super chat from Anubis 800. Thank you so much, my friend. My God, awesome. I finally find your channel. I'm so glad you found us. And thank you for the super chat. Let me play some cheerleaders for you, and welcome. Make sure you're subscribed, my friend. Make sure you're subscribed. So here you go, and thank you for the kind words. So here's some cheerleaders. We must have cheerleaders forthwith.
Charge! Charge!
Thank you so much for the super chat. And yeah, I think it does too. I go back and forth with it. I love it. I love making comics have that comic book feel to them. And thank you again, Anubis. I appreciate it. Sorry, Mr. Jetty, I forgot this was live. Don't worry, Darth Gutierrez. It's great to see you, my friend. It's great to see you, and welcome. Let me see if I can find that for you guys real quick here. Hang on a second. See if I can open that up here. Been having trouble with my, I think I'm stressing my computer too much, but let me just see here. Here you go. Oh gosh, it says the scratch discs are full. That's not a surprise. All right, hang on a second. Save this. Okay, won't let me do it because the scratch discs are full. I'm giving this computer way too much trouble. I know what I have to do, so let me just take care of this here real quick here. Okie dokie. And where do we go? Okay, hang on a second, guys. I know that's taking up a ton of space. Let's get rid of some storage space here. Let's see if we can't make this a little bit brighter of a day for our stuff here. Empty trash. Let's see how that works. All right, let's see if this helps any. File, save. It's gonna let me save? Huh? Okay, it's gonna do that. Cancel. I'll deal with that later. Such a pain. All right, I'll have to figure that out. But let me see here. It always does that to me when I do this stuff. Well, you know what? I remember everything I did, so I'll just come back and I'll save it later, and I'll reopen it. Let me see here. I need a new computer tube. Yeah, this one's from 2000 and whatever it is. Oh, now it's sharing this. That's lovely. Hang on a second. Let me turn this off because it's like sharing. There's the wolf reference, so you're getting to see that at least. Didn't know that was back there. Thank God I didn't have a figure back there. That would have been a nightmare. All right, so let me see here. Let me make sure I got caught up on the chat. Thank you again so much, Anubis 800. It's great to see you, my friend. Let me see if I quit Photoshop. And let's see how that goes. You never know. It's trying, bless its heart. It's trying. Oh, thank you. Let me see here. Let me see if I can open that up a little bit here. So, we'll open up Photoshop. And let me see if I can get this to work. Just realized I got the screen brightness up to the ceiling here. Alright, so let's see where I had that on there. Not there, not there. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's see if this opens or if it tells me I've got scratch disk problems. You never know. This is a big file. Yeah, I know. I totally need a new computer. It's trying. It's making an effort. I mean, this is a huge file. I got to tear this thing down in terms of its scale and its size. Here you go. For those of you guys, who have been keeping track of this, let me turn on the... There we go. So this right here is the Silence Do Good cover I've been working on. And I think some of you guys, oh my gosh, yeah, mine is 6 years old, I think, is what we found. I think it was from 2020. So this is the Silence Do Good cover, and here's another example of me putting a head in front of a logo. And then that was the idea for this cover. So I know some of you guys have seen this, me show this on other streams. But Benjamin Franklin was fond of keeping pet squirrels, so I decided I needed to create a squirrel character for this cover. And that right there is the mayhem that led to. So yeah, lots. I mean, look at all the layers in this. It's nuts. Because I was trying to figure it out, and I was building it as a painting and trying to see how it would work. But this is what we came up with, and it's, in process, but you can see the painterly aspect of it, how I'm approaching it, how I build these things, how I move things around. Really enjoying this cover and how it's coming together. Just kind of trying to figure out how it all is going to work. But I would like a laptop to play PC games. Amen. My son's been tearing it up on his PC games. He's taking a break between work. He's got a busy work week. Yeah, Mecha Squirrel, Yeah, I had to get like a techno monocle kind of fake eye on him. That was the thing that I was excited about doing, man. MSI are decent laptops. Mine is still running fine. Excellent. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, mine is struggling to get things done. If you don't need gaming on the go, you'll a better performance per dollar from a tower. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, towers are a way to go. He does 3D modeling and a lot of CAD work. So he needs, a lot more graphics processing than I do and a lot more memory. The stuff I do is just, painting and illustrating. And so I get pretty detailed on this stuff. I don't know what DPI this is, but I think it's like 311 by 17, but you guys can see what I mean as I piece this stuff together. I mean, this is insane magnification on this image, and the resolution still holds up. There's a signature on the pocket watch. That's another part of it for me, is trying to figure out where my signature is going to go as a part of the artwork, and I still haven't figured that out on the First Man artwork that I'm doing, which Andy doesn't even know about that, by the way. I haven't even told Andy. I should have sent him a text of that at some point, but yeah, I haven't even told him I'm doing anything with it. I was trying to relax last night after working and scrapping this painting and starting this painting again, and all of a sudden Andy Smith popped into my mind. And so thank you so much, Cursed Art Creations. I appreciate that. Look at all you people are great. Yeah, through you do lots of traveling, you may also want to tell. Look at this. The chat's great, man. You guys are great, and thank you for the kind words, Cursed Art Creations, again. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, that's my ultimate goal with this stuff. Is I was thinking about Comicsgate, and I was thinking about just that importance of generating excitement, and how we've been talking about that a lot. And I just thought, well, what's more exciting to me when I was a fan was seeing people do, and John Malin talks about this a lot. He's been doing this a ton, and he inspired me to do this. Seeing people do different takes on people's characters, and really trying to, create that creative energy that we have. And Andy did a drawing of Springball for me, and he sent me the original when he sent me my Kordrath stuff, which was great. And so I'm really, I really felt a connection there with the artwork and wanted to do something with Andy's character. And by the way, if I ever manage to do have a cover go to print of First Man on an Andy comic book, if I ever do get a chance to do that and create a cover and get him to use that image I'm working on, that will be a full circle moment from him doing the cover on my first professional job to me doing a cover for him. Would be awesome. So that was also part of the inspiration for it, which was I like Andy and I'm doing covers for people, and I just thought, I've done a Black Riding Hood cover, I've done a CYBERFROG trading card, I've done a bunch of painted covers on top of that, and then I was working on a Silence Do Good cover, and I thought, I gotta do some First Man. I gotta give a little love to Andy. Oh my gosh, there's my man Stephen Rockwood. Happy Sunday. Whoa, the first channel member celebrating 43 months of membership. And indeed, sir, boobs. That's why you're first on the channel member credits at the end of the stream, guys. If you are a channel member, if you become a channel member, your name will be in lights at the end of the streams. So do consider it if you have not become a channel member yet. And let's get after it. So I'm going to open up the First Man piece now that I was working on. And yeah, let's take a look and see. Because I undid all that work. It wasn't that hard, but it's like still, I undid all of the notes that I had from this. So let's fix the levels on this just to have notes for it, even if we go a different direction. Let's crank that up a little bit. Let's say right in there. Let's do a little warming of it. Adjustments, color balance. Let's make that a little warmer. Not too warm, but just a little warmer. And then let's go after that type and make that have more contrast. And sorry, Stephen Rockwood, where are my manners? You just did a super chat for 43 months. You get cheerleaders when you do a super chat round here. So let me get you some cheerleaders. Here you go, sir. My gosh.
Charge! Charge!
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you being a channel member, and so let me share this because I realized I wasn't sharing it. So there we go. There's the piece I was working on. Let me make sure it's set for Photoshop. Cool. Just making sure. And so I've adjusted the levels. Where are we? Right here. I've adjusted the levels on the figure. So now I'm going to go all the way up to the titles. Where are they? There we go. And I got to find out what layer did I put that dog paw on. That was really strange. It's not there. Is it? Let me use auto select to find it. Oh, see, I did need that though. I don't want to delete that. No one was forcing me, by the way. But what layer is that on? Huh. You'd think it would be on one of the higher layers there, but it's not. Is it on this layer? No. That is so strange. It's not on that layer, not on that layer. Not on that layer. It's got to be. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it is on 165. But what else is on 165? Sorry for you guys to have to watch this senior citizen attack their computer. But, yeah, that is weird. Okay, let's drag that way down to here, because that's where it belongs. Actually, don't merge it down yet, because I haven't copied that layer yet. So let me go back up here. Titles, there we go. So we won't have as many problems. Copy that. So one of the comments that was made by Rachel, which I agree with, well done, Rachel, is that the title needs to be more bright on that background because it's matching perfectly to the planet.
And we had fixed that, but then we had a little bit of a scratch disk issue. So there we go. Let's crank that up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that feels more correct. And then let me take this. Now they have this as notation, and then let me drag it way down here. Because we were also playing around with, as a thought, taking the type and considering the idea of moving it behind the character's head a little bit, because there's going to be, eventually there's going to be bleed space here, and I'm going to try to move, I'll probably have to move him around and her around, but yeah. So again, remember, we're trying to do some cute animal exploitation here. That's the goal. That's the goal for what we're doing. 165 layers gets it to get it together, Sean. Oh, listen, Steven, my friend, it's diabolical. It's diabolical, the layers. It's because I'm copying like a figure 50 times and playing around with it and changing the color. It's so bad, man. Yeah, but I got all those layers. At a certain point, I'll put them in groups and chuck them. But yeah, it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. But yeah, so I'm trying to make cute characters because they're making me laugh right now, making me feel good. So let's see here. I'll see it to be a pay sub channel. I promise. Oh, thank you so much, man. It's just that I begin to have so much pay subs. Yes, I understood. Yeah, I should make a cleanup because I can't support them all. I have a budget, sadly. That's fine. Thank you for the super chat. I don't have to apologize for anything. My God, Rachel's laughing. Let's see. Yeah, it's 100%. You're absolutely right on that. I read that before. Yeah, the GPU stuff is nuts. So let me see here. Let's scroll way back here. And here we go. And so, yeah, so you guys can see what's going on with this. But I love the idea of this is a total Star Trek, pseudo-reference, which is a Gorn-like alien. They're being attacked by small flying saucers, which I'm going to have a whole bunch of them in here as they're taking them down. And the dog is catching one of the saucers in his mouth like a Frisbee. Because I wanted to do something that really captures the fun and the playfulness that I think superhero comics, have the potential to explore. And while I know that's incredibly different, right, than the other stuff we do, we can do anything here. If you guys support it and you guys support us, we can do anything. That's the biggest lesson I think we've learned. So thank you so much, guys, for being here while I work on the paint job for this pick guard, while I work on the comic book stuff, and while I share with you guys the progress on the Nosfero proofs and the Nosfero printing, which should be getting shipped to me in, they said June 6th. We'll see. I'll let you know when I have a tracking number is my philosophy. But thank you guys so much for being here. It has been a pleasure spending Sunday with you guys for another episode of Comics and Curios Inside the Studio. As always, speak easy, stay gold, keep the faith, and peace be with you guys. Give nihilism no quarter. And I will see you guys very, very soon for another stream on Sunday. Thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful Memorial Day. And take the time to celebrate, spend time with family, and remember those who gave the last full measure for us to be able to have that right and to enjoy ourselves on that day. So thank you guys so much for being here. Have a wonderful Sunday. Thank you, Cursed Heart Creations. Thank you, Timmy Mello. Always a pleasure. Rachel Brinkley's having fun here, cracking up at all of us. I will see you guys very, very soon. And yeah, let's just keep working. Let's keep having fun. And look for your name in the credits of your channel member. You're very welcome, Anubis 800. My pleasure. I will see you guys very, very soon. Go find a fun stream out there. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much, Timmy Mello. You too have a wonderful Memorial Day, and I will have a great Sunday back at you, brother. And thank you for being here, my fellow artist. It's always great to see all of you guys. Stephen Rockwood, everybody who's doing great stuff here. Take care, and yeah, keep kicking butt. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye, guys. And here's your name in the credits. Take care.